Okay, this probably puts me in an even smaller minority than usual, but I have to tell you, I miss Edgar the Peaceful. Now, in case you weren't at the last meeting of his fan club, perhaps because it dissolved in the 11th century, I should specify that Edgar became king of all England on October 1st back in 959 AD. He's the son of Edmund the Deed-Doer, he's the nephew of Athelstan the Magnificent, and he's the great-grandson of Alfred the Great. Now, you might think all these titles like peaceful, magnificent, and great are just a bunch of hooey, given that they're Saxon kings who ruled during the Dark Ages. But the truth is that Edgar's reign was a time of peace and prosperity. Not perhaps prosperity in our sense of a new iPhone model every 2 years or bust, but of prosperity in the sense that foreign marauders were rare, the kingdom was kept at peace, the crops grew in plenty, the climate was pleasant, artisans plied their trade, and there was time to relax with a cup of mead in the evening by the fireside and tell tales of Alfred the Great and the cakes. Now, it wasn't all gravy in those days. Edgar himself came to the throne because his father, Edmund the Deed-Doer, was murdered by a thief he was trying to arrest, or just possibly was the victim of a political assassination. Rather worse, his son, Edward the Martyr, was murdered in a plot to put his evil and feckless half-brother, Ethelred the Unready, on the throne, he who failed to get rid of the Danes, paid the Dane Geld, and otherwise set almost a record for being an awful king. But that doesn't change the fact that Edgar's reign was a good time to be alive in England. It was symbolized by this event in 973 when he was rowed on the Thames by 6 kings to signal their submission in his overlordship of England. Or maybe it was 8 kings, or maybe they just submitted to him, we're not sure. Nobody tweeted the event. In those days, we weren't typing with our thumbs. But the fact is that if you look at the matter dispassionately, our own time has seen more than its share of horrors, and the so-called Dark Ages were often a time when life really was good, when the laws were fairly enforced, when times were pleasant and peaceful, including in the glorious reign of Edgar the Peaceful. I wish I'd been there on the banks of the Thames to raise a cup of mead as those kings rowed him by.